After hearing a number of allegations of prison employee abuse, the Idaho Department of Correction director says it's time to get to the bottom of it. Good evening, I'm Brooke Hale. The department is working with an outside contractor traveling to all 8 state prisons to find out if the allegations of retaliation by former employees are true. Kirsten Thronson sat down with one former correctional officer and joins us now with more.
Well, Brooke, IDOC won't comment about specific allegations. Allegations that, according to the female guard I spoke with, said led to numerous mental and emotional health problems. Now she wants other prison employees to know they might not be alone. Allegations of sexual harassment and retaliation surround the Idaho Department of Correction. Both Stacy Cooper says she and a handful of other correctional officers experienced firsthand.
She'd get called an inmate lover. There would be jokes about how her butt moved when she walked, the makeup she wore, how her hair was worn, things along those lines.
Cooper worked in the Idaho Maximum Security Institution for 2 years. By the summer of 2003, she said things got so bad in her unit, she and another guard complained to their supervisor. That's when things started changing.
Starting the day after I filed that report, I was constantly being ordered to do things that were unsafe and against policy, or I was being verbally reprimanded for things that weren't even true in most cases. My evaluations were horrible after that.
And Cooper isn't the only one alleging abuse. Since Vaughn Killeen took over as director several weeks ago, he has heard enough complaints to warrant some concern when it comes to prison employees.
Director Killeen has made it very clear that he will not tolerate any employee wrongdoing of employees who engage in retaliation.
Idaho's 8 state prisons are being audited, a process that involves interviewing and questioning line staff and supervisors about how things are done. The goal is to make IDOC a better organization and place to work.
The best thing to happen would be a new administration who could change the culture in that prison.
Something this former employee hopes will make a difference for future correctional employees. Now, Cooper did file a complaint with the Human Rights Commission in 2004. She just learned this past week they did not vote in her favor, but Cooper plans on filing a lawsuit, and she knows 2 other women working with her lawyer over similar allegations. Brooke.
All right, thanks, Kirsten. Well, Boise police are breathing a little easier tonight after a busy afternoon for bank robberies. In a span of 3 hours, Boise police responded to 2 bank robberies and 1 foiled. Police say they received a tip before the last robbery and arrested 40-year-old Teresa Germain at the Wells Fargo off of Apple and Boise Avenue. 49-year-old Alan Lee Brandt has been arrested on 2 counts of robbery, one for the Key Bank on Broadway and the other for the First Bank at 14th and Idaho.
And we found that Friday is a big day for bank robbery, so we have extra officers out patrolling the streets in uniform capacity and a plainclothes capacity, watching many banks around the city of Boise, and we have over 50 banks just in our jurisdiction alone.
Boise police do not believe there is any connection between the 2 suspects. They will continue to investigate to see if either of them is involved in any previous robberies around the valley. Thousands of motorists will soon be able to save some commuting time when driving from the Bench down to Chinden Boulevard. The Ada County Highway District announced an agreement with Settlers Irrigation District, which will allow them to complete the Maple Grove extension, providing a new road for motorists. Completion of the bridge project stalled after the canal company voiced concerns over the flow of stormwater runoff from the road into the canal.
What we've done is we've worked an arrangement out where we've separated the 2 issues and where we can build the bridge, but what we still will be doing is working on the settlement of the discharge of the runoff waters.
ACHD plans to start construction by the fall with the plan to open up the road by the 1st of the year. Idaho's economy may be on a roll with an extra $208 million in the bank next year. Governor Jim Risch today announced the budget forecast is better than expected thanks to money generated from sales and income taxes. This is just a projection, so the outlook may change, but Risch says Idaho's economy has improved 6 months in a row. The legislature will get to decide how to use this money when they reconvene next January. It could be spent on anything from expanding prison space to building more community colleges. A Boise man who lost his lawsuit against pharmaceutical giant Merck may get another day in court. Mike Humiston suffered a heart attack after taking the drug in 2001. He filed suit but lost in a New Jersey court late last year. Yesterday, a Superior Court ruling overturned Merck's November victory, saying new evidence has been uncovered showing the drug maker withheld information showing heart attacks are possible for people taking Vioxx for 18 months. An early morning truck accident ties up traffic on the interstate. Idaho State Police say the driver of the 52-foot double trailer lost control of her rig traveling west on the interstate near Sand Hollow. Her truck careened 75 feet off the highway. It was closed for a time because she was hauling a variety of chemicals that included corrosives. ISP says luckily there was not a significant spill. 2 more Idahoans die as a result of contracting West Nile virus. Both were men in their 70s. They mark the 6 deaths attributed to the disease. This as Ada County officials demonstrate how their aerial spraying operations will be. Art Swift has the story.
All right, this is the one of the aircraft that we'll be using Monday and Tuesday night to do the application.
This is the latest weapon in the war against the pest behind West Nile virus. After scores of illnesses, the deaths of numerous birds, horses, and even several people, Ada County commissioners say it's time to get serious in the fight against West Nile virus.
If the spray is doing what it's supposed to do, then the spray will not ever reach the ground. It will just, it's an aerosol cloud that just hangs above the ground, and the wind kind of carries it through the foliage and where the mosquitoes and all are hiding.
Today, the company that will be doing the spraying in Ada County tested the plane using water, not chemicals. The pilot took pains to say that the spray is safe and will land where it's supposed to. Even though officials say that spraying won't harm anyone or anything, they aren't going to be spraying at Eagle Island State Park at the fish hatchery or here at the zoo. 60 to 70 gallons of spray will be aboard these planes, hitting 30,000 acres during the 4-hour trip. Officials are aware people may be concerned about the spraying of a pesticide, but are insistent it's safe and residents have nothing to fear.
If you want to take one little packet of sugar that you get in the restaurant or any place like that, you would have to scatter that over 18,540 bowls of cereal. One little package, that's the amount of chemical that we're actually putting out.
Bennett says after the sprays settle in 2 to 3 weeks, people should see a dramatic reduction in West Nile virus cases. So why wasn't this done sooner?
It just wasn't the time yet. We didn't have the mosquito counts yet. We didn't have the cases coming. And we have to wait until things actually happen.
Now that spraying is becoming popular and authorities are getting involved, the city of Nampa is petitioning to become part of the Canyon County Mosquito Abatement District. A public hearing on the idea will be held Monday at 7:30 at the regular city council meeting. Idaho Senator Mike Crapo has introduced legislation in Congress that could protect more than 500,000 acres of wilderness in the Owyhee County and end years of bitter fighting over how to treat that land. A group made up of ranchers, county commissioners, recreational groups, environmentalists, and the Shoshone-Paiute tribes met at the governor's office with Senator Mike Crapo today. Their agreement proposes converting 200,000 acres of study area to multiple use, a recreation plan preserving space for Air Force training, guaranteeing economic viability for ranchers, and protections for the Shoshone-Paiute tribe's cultural heritage.
And we hold this place sacred in our hearts, and it's very important to our spirituality and our religious well-being. We have a number of areas out there that at this point in time have not been protected the way they should be, and I believe through this process we're going to be able to finally do that.
It's always hard to...
Crapo introduced this legislation earlier this month and says he hopes to get it heard in the Energy and Resources Committee by next month before Congress goes to recess.
10 at 10 continues with Joni Schreiber and your AccuWeather update.
Good evening. The weather we've been having has just been beautiful, and this evening it is currently 78 degrees in the Treasure Valley. You can see we do have some winds at about 5 miles per hour, and the pressure is rising at 30.08. Also, our high temperatures today cooled off a little bit. They warmed up a little bit, but it has been cooler still than we have been seeing. Today's high temperature, 85 degrees, made it up to 88 in Mountain Home, 86 for Ontario, and the 70s in the mountain locations. Those were the locations that saw the biggest boost for their high temperature, 81 the high for Twin Falls. However, we do have a warming trend on the way. Temperatures are going to get up close to the triple digits once again by midweek. I'll give you the full details on that coming up later on.
And now, your 10 at 10 Sports Update with Andrew Martin.
Less than 2 weeks until the start of the college football season. Can you believe it's here already? But Broncos Stadium was busy tonight, the second of 3 scrimmages for the Boise State football team. And check out the crowd. The third one is closed to the public. Now, coming up later in sports, we'll have stats and more stuff from this game. But check out that grab. Nick Lomax to Iona Key. He's the only receiver over 100 yards in the game. That plus the Caldwell Night Rodeo coming up later in sports.
That wraps up 10 minutes of news, sports, and weather. Coming up, new residents are beginning to fill BSU dorms. And after 5 years of drought, some popular fishing holes dried up. But now they're back, and anglers are flocking to fish. You're watching KBCI CBS 2 News.
Invest wisely with Michael's Furniture Showplace, where custom ordering furniture is easy and affordable.
Get ready. Accurate, objective, fair. You're watching KBCI CBS 2 News.
It's that time of year again when Boise gets a slew of new residents, freshmen. The students are arriving at Boise State University this week, equipped with suitcases, packing boxes, and of course your old mom and dad to help with the move-in. More than 18,000 students attended BSU last year. More than 5,000 of those are freshmen. Fall classes begin Monday, August 21st. Entire lakes full of fish died after years of drought drained several Treasure Valley reservoirs. Now Fish and Game hopes they can bring some of those fisheries back. Indian Creek Reservoir between Boise and Mountain Home is just one water hole that has been dry for the last few years.
Over the last 6 to 7 years, we've had some problems with these waters going totally dry or near so, and the fish populations in them totally died off.
After this year's above-average moisture, Fish and Game stocked bass and bluegill in Indian Creek, Black Creek, and Mountain Home reservoirs. Indian Creek is the only reservoir that isn't used for irrigation, and biologists are hopeful it will create a great fishery filled with large fish by 2008.
Accurate, objective, fair. And now, Joni Schreiber with your AccuWeather forecast.
Good evening. Has it been dry enough for you lately? In fact, in August, we have seen no significant rainfall, just 0.02 inches total, which is about 1/10 of an inch below normal for this time of year. So usually in August, we get about 0.13 inches by this time, and we've only seen 0.02. So our dry weather will continue into the next couple of days. And in fact, all week, we're not looking at any chance of rain showers, and temperatures are going to heat up as well, which of course will dry out the vegetation even more. Right now, we're at 78 degrees in the Treasure Valley. We have had a cool down, and it did warm up today, but still 78 in the Treasure Valley, 61 in McCall, 69 in Burns, 66 for Baker City, and 60 in Twin Falls. Now, we are going to see warmer temperatures heading eastward and inland. As you can see right now in Seattle, it's still 75 degrees. It's 82 in Portland, and same thing in Eugene. That is a warmer air mass that's on its way to the east, and we're going to start to see high pressure creeping eastward as well, which is going to cause our afternoon highs to bump up by tomorrow about 10 degrees, and then after that a couple of degrees each day through Tuesday, where we're expecting to see high temperatures about 99 degrees. Here's a look at our satellite and radar picture from across the northwest. This is just in the past 6 hours or so, and we have seen those showers that we saw earlier today throughout Nevada dissipating tonight. Just a few clouds left over from this, so we're not expecting to see that continue to move northward and move into the Treasure Valley. High pressure is really going to be the story over the next couple of days. Our satellite and radar here is showing a little band of clouds in Owyhee County, just along the Idaho-Nevada border there, but that's about all we have going on for weather activity tonight. Our Pacific satellite is showing the jet stream is going to go up and to the north of us, and as it does, it'll be carrying any little storm systems to the north as well. So we're really expecting to see that high pressure starting to hold steady. What that's going to mean is in the next couple of days, we're going to get a thick layer of smoke most locations. Anywhere where you're seeing a forest fire, and even down here in the Treasure Valley, that high pressure is going to cause stagnant air over the valley, and afternoon heating is going to get warmer and warmer, as well as the overnight lows will be warmer and a lot milder. We'll also see a thick layer of clouds. After that, we start to see this low pressure system moving, and this isn't coming in until about Wednesday, and when that does, we should see temperatures cool down quite a bit more towards normal for this time of year. Here's a look at our computer forecast model. This is tonight at 11 o'clock, and as we put this into motion, where you see these big gaps, that indicates high pressure, and we're seeing a large space there between those two lines. So the northwest will be dominated with it throughout Saturday and Sunday, and you can see really no chance of seeing any rain showers these next couple of days either. We don't even have the instability to maybe see a thunderstorm or two. We had seen those threatening last week quite a bit. Here's a look at our forecast for tonight for the mountains. It should be a little bit chilly if you're waking up in Stanley. 32 degrees overnight, 37 for Sun Valley, 57 for Council, 44 in Cascade. Then for tomorrow, temperatures warm up once again, and the mountains made a big rebound today in their high temperatures, but they're going to get even warmer tomorrow by a couple of degrees. 79 for McCall, 78 for Stanley, 87 in Idaho City. Here's a look at our forecast tonight in Boise. Mostly clear skies, definitely on the cool side, 58. Light winds about 10 miles per hour, and that will make it feel even cooler out there. And then for tomorrow, sunshine, 91 degrees again, a couple of degrees above normal. Our weekly planner showing by Sunday we're at 94. Monday and Tuesday, these are the days you need to worry about here, 98 and 99. However, that's just far enough out that maybe we won't see it, but
I'm all right with that.
You're all right with 98 and 99?
For now.
I've gotten really spoiled by the 80s.
Yeah, that has been nice. All right, thanks, Joni. Coming up next, the high gas prices are hurting Ford's profits, and now they say they're cutting production. Plus, more disturbing details emerge in the JonBenet Ramsey case. You're watching KBCI CBS 2 News.
Accurate, objective, fair. You're watching KBCI CBS 2 News.
Disturbing new details emerged today in the decade-old murder case of JonBenet Ramsey. CBS's Rhonda Schulting reports from Colorado.
If listening to his stunning admissions wasn't surprising enough,
death was an accident.
reading John Mark Carr's emails might be even more stunning. In one of the hundreds of correspondences with Colorado professor Michael Tracy, which was obtained by the Rocky Mountain News, Carr writes a poem saying, "JonBenet, my love, my life, I love you and shall forever love you," and goes on to say, "If there is to be a life for me after this one, I pray it will be with you." And in another, he says he's the focus of, quote, "a 4-state federal investigation for murder and child molestation." But federal officials tell CBS News that is not true. But there are some details about this 4-year-long correspondence which were not made public that prompted investigators to take a closer look at Carr. He described a $118,000 check stub found on John Ramsey's desk, also a unique staircase in the house, and the layout of the basement where JonBenet was found.
So offer the same.
Adding to the stunning twist in this case, authorities searched the San Quentin jail cell of convicted poly-class murderer Richard Allen Davis. Officials say Carr, who was also obsessed with that child murder, might have contacted Davis.
We have no evidence that shows that there is any correspondence taking place between Richard Allen Davis and John Carr.
Another dead end in a case with more questions than answers. Rhonda Schulting for CBS News, Boulder, Colorado.
And Ford will be cutting production by 21%, making 168,000 fewer vehicles this year than last. The ailing automaker has already lost $1.5 billion so far this year as car buyers turn away from the gas-guzzling SUVs and trucks that were once Ford's bread and butter. Ford says it needs to temporarily halt production at 10 assembly plants. Coming up next, Boise says welcome back to the NBA, and it's a Boise State battle on the blue turf. Andrew Martin is next with sports. You're watching KBCI CBS 2 News.
Accurate, objective, fair. And now, sports with Andrew Martin.
What's blue, orange, and white, and I guess really sweaty? Well, not sure exactly where I'm going with that, but it's a bunch of Boise State football players in practice jerseys. BSU holding its second scrimmage of fall camp tonight, and you see Corey Hall and some of his teammates on the sidelines. A lot of the starters sitting this one out. We'll get to that in just a second. Now, Jared Zabransky, check out that run down the sideline. He had 8 rushing attempts for 45 yards, also scored a rushing touchdown. Through the air, the quarterbacks were doing just fine as well. Now, Zabransky faked that one out and pitched it to sophomore Vinny Peretta. Nice moves there for the Italian stallion, as we like to call him. Peterson on the sidelines, and can they score touchdowns? Of course they can. Zabransky again going back to the air and looking for one of his receivers, and check out that nice pass. That's Iona Key. He scored a touchdown in this game. He had 108 yards, 5 catches, and those players that I said didn't actually start, Coach Pete has a reason for it.
You know, this is the last time that some of those young guys are going to really get a chance to play in front of any people, at least. So we wanted to give those guys a good shot. And some guys, the Corey Halls and Gerald and those guys, I mean, they played a lot. We know what they can do. We're going to make sure that they get to the game healthy.
By the way, Boise State's third scrimmage is closed to both the public and the media. Before the Broncos put on the pads for tonight's scrimmage, they knew they're at least the 30th best Division I football team. Earlier today, the Associated Press released its top 25 preseason poll, and to read all about it, just log on to our website at KBCI-TV.com. Well, for the second straight year, the Utah Jazz will hold a week-long training camp at Taco Bell Arena. It's the first week in October, and there's a good chance many of the players in that camp could see time in a Stampede uniform this season. Unfortunately, you won't, and neither will we. The Jazz are expected to hold daily practices the whole week that are closed to both the media and the public. Seems like a theme going. For more information, just log on to our website at KBCI-TV.com. Only 2 nights left in this year's Caldwell Night Rodeo, and we've already gotten the tough enough to wear pink night out of the way. Of course, if you still want to wear pink, you're more than welcome to. Let's head out to Caldwell tonight, where the flags, stars, and stripes are running around the arena. Idaho Cowboys Zeb Lanham, second to go in the bull ride. Take a look at this. Okay, so it wasn't exactly Lanham's best ride. He is 12th in the world standings for the PRCA bull riding, but this isn't going to get him to the championships. That's tomorrow night. The top 12 in each competition group will advance. Boise Hawks on the road in Vancouver. They had a rare day game today, a 2:05 start, and the Hawks just keep on rolling. They've now won both games on this current 11-game road trip. Same two teams will play tomorrow night back at their regularly scheduled 8:05 start time. Finally tonight, the Extreme Fight Series is coming back to the Valley. Knockout Promotions has announced a second mixed martial arts fight series will take place at Quest Arena in mid-October. The first installment back in July sold out, and tickets for what's being called Unleashed Fury will go on sale next Friday. Brooke, Unleashed Fury, what comes to your mind when you hear that?
Bloody fighting.
That's pretty much what it comes down to, but they say it's safe.
I guess the last one was a big hit, so they're bringing it back.
Yes, it actually had more tickets sold for that fight than for the Hold Nothing Back Roy Jones Jr. fight, so we'll see.
All right, thanks, Andrew. We'll be right back with a final check on the weather.
Watch meteorologist Kelly Franson and AccuWeather only on KBCI CBS 2 News.
Finally tonight, there may be a sweet miracle going on for believers in Fountain Valley, California. Workers at a gourmet chocolate store say they're seeing the Virgin Mary in a 2-inch column of chocolate drippings. Since the Discovery Monday, employees have spent much of their time hovering over the tiny figure, praying and placing rose petals and candles around it. The chocolate rests in a plastic case in a back room and is brought out only for curious visitors. And I was reading the script and didn't get a chance to look. So did it look like Mary?
It looked a lot smaller than I thought it would be.
Little Mary. Only 2 inches. So I don't know what's more rare, like the chocolate Mary or chocolate Jesus, you think?
Or the grilled cheese sandwich Jesus.
Oh, yeah. I didn't hear about that one.
See, and my favorite are those gigantic cookies. You know, the big chocolate chip cookies that they bake just for world record's sake? Because those just look so delicious.
But they don't have holy images in them, Andrew.
Well, but see, then you can eat them and not feel bad.
Good point. All right, let's get a final check on the weather.
Let's save Andrew, please. Here's a look at the weekly planner. You can see temperatures are going to get a lot warmer. For tomorrow, we're going up almost 10 degrees to 91. By Sunday at 94, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, you can see we're up there close to the triple digits once again. But sunshine all ahead for the weekly planner, so really no chance of rain. And we had some threatening clouds last week, looking like we were going to see a thunderstorm or two, but missed them most of the time.
Okay. I'm still laughing at your chocolate chip cookie.
They're good.
And you don't feel guilty
hungry, huh?
All right, well, that's it for us tonight. Be sure to join us tomorrow, everyone. Good night.
Accurate, objective, fair. Thanks for watching KBCI CBS 2 News. For local news and weather 24 hours a day, log on to KBCI-TV.com.
Fisher Communications.